created a
When we go to Google, 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 and type in Cesare Borgia,
I have taken a life.
right?
I have created a
When we go to Google and type in
taken
Cesare Borgia,
I am the son of Pope Alexander VI.
the image of this criminal comes up,
He who decides.
right? Now look, as you can see, all I did was type in, as you can see here, Cesare Borgia into Google. And this criminal right here came up.
I do not want to be Pope. I want to be a king. Emperor.
Now,
why do you pretend that
I'm not being facetious when I say criminal. This is Cesare Borgia, the second son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome.
I fear you're trying to extinguish a fire with.
He was known as a poisoner, a triptych of poisoners. In a book, and look at this. And they put this guy up to be Christ, right? Now, they did a show on this guy, the Borgia family, right?
What the fuck is that?
Here he is. Borgia family, right?
What the fuck is that?
Here he is. Is the second son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite. Son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite. Son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite. Son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite. Son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite. Son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite. Son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite. Son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite. Son Pope of Rome, and Google. And type in Cesare Borgia. And type in. When you go to Google and type in Cesare Borgia,
I have taken a life.
right?
I have created a
When we go to Google and type in Cesare Borgia,
I am the son of Pope Alexander VI.
the image of this criminal comes up,
He who decides.
right? Now look, as you can see, all I did was type in, as you can see here, Cesare Borgia into Google, and this criminal right here came up.
I do not want to be Pope. I want to be a king. Emperor.
Now,
Why do you pretend that
I'm not being facetious when I say criminal. This is Cesare Borgia, the second son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome.
I fear you're trying to extinguish a fire with.
He was known as a poisoner, a triptych of poisoners. In a book, and look at this. And they put this guy up to be Christ, right? Now, they did a show on this guy, the Borgia family, right?
What the fuck is that?
Here he is. The second son of Alexander VI, Pope of Rome, an Edomite.
God speaks with our voice.
An Edomite. Now,
seeking what is best for him.
all of us know that Christ didn't look that way. But now, that leads us to other questions that need answers. if they would be so bold to lie on the Son of God, can we believe anything they tell us? So, and I need you all to answer these questions from your own vantage point. When I ask you on the radio show, when the radio calls are open, why didn't they tell us the truth? I need you to give me your opinion and answer of why you think. But let me tell you, I know why. Like I mentioned, the truth ends their world. The world is built on lies. And see, it's not just Cesare Borgia. It's not just Cesare Borgia, folks. We were told that Christopher Columbus discovered America, while the North American Indians were here already. That's what we were told. Right? Now, I'm not revealing anything you didn't know already, but America wanted us to believe that this guy was a Spaniard. But when you look into his family history, his genealogy, he links to, the synagogue of Satan, like the Bible says. Now, why am I bringing this out right now, brothers and sisters? Africa, slave ships,
east of Nigeria on Friday attended
white image, Christopher Columbus.
The African tallest statue, weighing 8.5
Folks,
meters, was erected at St.
the world we live in, the reality of the world we live in, is one big lie.
Bishop of Olu Catholic Diocese, Most Reverend Augustine,
and the only way to untangle these lies is absolute truth. The Bible. That's why. Let me drop this on you all. Christopher Columbus.
Why do you wish to sail west? The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
Can you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Esdras is a Jew.
So what's worse?
2 minutes, and already you're a bad man.
For telling the truth?
Yes. They are burning people for less. The men you're about to confront. No emotion.
Now, usually I do things like this in the academy, but I'm going to just bring out a few sources, folks. As you can see, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay? Hold up. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right? I'm going to put these to the side real quick. Christopher Columbus. See, I like to go into books that have historical references. Colonial years, when they were forming the lies, when they were creating the lies that would have the people deceived concerning God's people here. Right? Now, someone gifted me with this book. It's called Inventing the Flat Earth, and I'm going to go into Flat Earth also. It's not a new concept. Christopher Columbus. Now, why didn't they tell us the truth? Listen to this. On page, and a lot of this come from. Let me make it clear. The flat Earth was just a misdirection. At a time to throw people off from who Christopher Columbus' real objectives for coming to the Americas. Now another misdirection, so that everyone will be arguing the shape of the earth. See, and the whole thing is, that's why I titled this, Why They Didn't Tell Us the Truth. Because even what we call absolute history, in their arguments concerning historical truths, are lies. There was never really an argument concerning the shape of the earth. I can go back into history that predates the colonial years, where all the Gentile nations knew that the earth was round.
In the mid-20th century, we began launching satellites into space that would help us determine the exact circumference of the Earth, 40,030 kilometers. But over 2,000 years earlier in ancient Greece, a man arrived at nearly that exact same figure by putting a stick in the ground. That man was Eratosthenes, a Greek mathematician and the head of the Library of Alexandria. Eratosthenes had heard that in Syene, a city to the south of Alexandria, no vertical shadows were cast at noon on the summer solstice. The sun was directly overhead. He wondered if this were also true in Alexandria, so on June 21st he planted a stick vertically in the ground and waited to see if a shadow would be cast at noon. It turns out there was one, and it measured about 7 degrees. Now, if the sun's rays are coming in at the same angle at the same time of day, and a stick in Alexandria is casting a shadow while a stick in Syene is not, it must mean that the Earth's surface is curved. And Eratosthenes probably already knew that. The idea of a spherical Earth was floated by Pythagoras around 500 BC and validated by Aristotle a couple centuries later. If the Earth really was a sphere, Eratosthenes could use his observations to estimate the circumference of the entire planet. Since the difference in shadow length is 7 degrees between Alexandria and Syene, that means the two cities are 7 degrees apart on Earth's 360-degree surface. Eratosthenes hired a man to pace the distance between the two cities, and learned they were 5,000 stadia apart, which is about 800 kilometers. He could then use simple proportions to find the Earth's circumference. 7.2 degrees is 1/50th of 360 degrees, so 800.
They're deep coffers to send him here, to send him into these regions. At that time is the question. That flat Earth stuff started getting taught
360 degrees. So 800 kilometers times 50 equals 40,000 kilometers. And just like that, a man 2,200 years ago found the circumference of the entire planet with just a stick and his brain.
That flat Earth stuff started getting taught near the Middle Ages up until the time America was founded. But it was injected into history as a distraction. Why? Why is the question? Oh, where my other book at? What did they want people at that time? Why did they want those people at that time to focus on the shape of the earth as the reason to why Columbus was sailing, and not the true reason royalty opened their coffers, their deep coffers, to send him here, to send him into these regions? They wanted people to argue, oh no, he's going out there to see if the world is flat or whether or not it's round, when that wasn't the objective. That wasn't the mission. I 'Cause Here you go. Right? Let me show you here. A matter of fact, real quick. Let me turn it down just a little so you can see it. So you can see it. The Lost Tribes in the Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. Lost Tribes in the Promised Land by Ronald Sanders. And what I'm going to do here, what I'll do, so that you brothers and sisters can't think I'm making this up, brighten it back up. So you brothers and sisters cannot think that I'm making these things up.
Hey everyone, so with the first two videos in this mini-series, I demonstrated that anyone can prove to themselves conclusively that the Earth is a sphere by looking at objects in the sky. All of North planes don't. The most popular of these is to pretend that the wind is responsible. Again, this is because flat earthers are lazy. Small differences in such that everyone gets single-handed.
Let me show you why they used flat earth as a misdirection. Let me show you. Let me show you here. Columbus. Let me tell you, folks, all of their history is a lie and misdirection. Let me get it here. Columbus. Columbus. Now, what I did here for your convenience, I usually do this in the academy, brothers and sisters. I took a picture of the history of why Christopher Columbus came here, based on his own diaries, based on his own memoir or diary. I'm on page 79. Yeah, I'm on page 79. Yeah, this book is busted. You know what? It ain't going nowhere, even if I have to tape it up. You see, you look at this. Hold on. 1 second, don't go anywhere now. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Here, I am back. The devil is a liar. That's right. Come with every time they try to attack and try to slow this word up, we're gonna bring it strong. Okay? And we're gonna bring it even harder than if they would have just left us alone. Okay? In the record, brothers and sisters.
The deadliest leaders in the world. Christopher Columbus killed a staggering 3 million indigenous people in the Americas. He brutalized locals and intentionally infected communities with smallpox so he could decimate their culture. Next up is the bloodthirsty conquistador responsible for the extinction of the Inca civilization, Francisco Pizarro. He led violent raids in Peru in the 1500s and killed 10 million people. At his worst, his men killed 5,000 Incans in a single hour. But the worst was King Leopold II of Belgium. He mutilated African communities in the Victorian era and is responsible for 15 million deaths. In 25 years, he killed and maimed 70% of the population of the Congo Free State. Follow and share for more strange facts.
And folks, let me tell you, this is I'm gonna show y'all why they really don't want to mess with what's going on back here real quick. Let me show you something. Okay? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whatever they want, we got. Okay? Whatever they want, we have. The devil can't hide no more. Okay? The devil cannot hide. We got all his records. We have his records. And there's more, and there's more, and there's more. That way too. That way too. Okay? Matter of fact, let me grab this one also. Let me grab this one too. Yeah. Yeah. Let me show y'all how we do this. Let me show you how we do this, family. Right? Let me show you how we do this. Right? Let me show you how we do this. See, the devil is a liar. See, they can't say that we wrote these books, folks. So the whole deal is, the whole world knew who we were the whole time and lied to our people. They all knew. It was in their history books. I'm going to show you. Christopher Columbus didn't come to the Americas or near the Indies because he thought to prove the earth was round. That's stupid. Enter Columbus on page 79. Follow me. Follow me. It says right here. Matter of fact, let's start here. I'm going to start on page 78 and move it over to the page you're looking at. The sudden display of interest of Jewish matters is startling, and weighs considerably in favor of the argument that Columbus was a new Christian. Right? And it goes down and say, along with the racial Christianity is an idea of revelation that places the mystical Esdras right at the center. He's talking about second Esdras in the Bible. It says, for the note is saying that the acceptance of the apocryphal Esdras as valid prophecy is what distinguishes the new Christians from the reprobate Jews, who reject him even though they regard the Old Testament Ezra as if repudiate the God of the prophets, and presumably the result will be the same. Listen to this clearly, folks. The rabbinical Jews of Spain, the note seems to imply, are to be the lost tribes of modern times. One wonders whether this note was written before or after the expulsion of the Jews in 1492. Now I'm going to give y'all some history on the expulsion of the Jews in the 1400s. That's going to blow y'all away too, because you wouldn't believe who was really getting expelled. Wink, wink. But meanwhile, the Apocrypha Ezra, now I'm on the page you're reading now, brothers and sisters. The Apocryphal Esdras, which was, by the way, a book of special importance to many new Christians. Hold up, now check it out now. Christianity today tell us to stay away from the Apocrypha. But during the time of Columbus, Christians were very concerned, or very interested, a better word, in the Apocrypha. It says, a book of special importance to many new Christians has a good deal to say about the original lost tribes. And this could not have passed lightly under Columbus's somewhat mystical gaze. Surely he was special. He saw special meanings in his own times and for himself in this passage. Now look at the passages that Christopher Columbus brought to Queen Isabella as his reason to prove that the lost tribes were in a different part of the earth, the West. They paid Christopher Columbus. His conquest had nothing to do with a flat earth. It had everything to do with finding the lost tribes over here, or at least charting a path so that the conquerors and the armies could follow his paths. Listen to this. In the middle of the page. But the warlike multitude is subdued by the man from the sea. And then another multitude, a peaceable one, comes to him. Right? If Columbus did indeed glimpse himself in the role of the man from the sea, then Ezra's identification of the peaceable multitude takes on special significance. Now listen to the scripture that he brought to the queen. 2nd Ezra 13:40 through 40 through 42. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasseh the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land, the New World. King of Assyria led, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasseh the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land, the New World. But they took this counsel amongst themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, the New World, that they might keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. What? Christopher Columbus, brothers and sisters, were reading the Apocrypha. 2nd Ezra 13:39 through 42. They were reading the Apocrypha. They were using our scrolls to find our lost brothers here in the Americas. They use every time you hear flat earth, it's a misdirection to have people look another way so that they could do what? Deceive, destroy, attack, and or enslave the children of Israel. It's a code word for them. The flat earth is a code word for them, folks. It's a code word. Now, why do they want people arguing flat earth? Because they know anyone who believes in it or don't believe in it isn't going to spend any resources or time going to the ends of the earth to verify whether or not their hypotheses are true. They know no one can prove it either way. Personally. But why do they bring the argument up in our current time? The same way they brought it up during the time of Christopher Columbus, to distract us, our people, at the same time, and by the same time, they're attacking us. It's a code word. That's what it is. And that's why I'm so glad I seen this book. A sister sent me this book, Inventing the Flat Earth. Very good book, and I got other records to prove that they always knew the earth was sphere or round. But it's a code word to have the whole world looking at something that no one can prove while they are attacking, finding out the genetics, and are destroying the lost tribes of Israel. Oh yeah. Listen, I don't care if people believe it's flat, round, or triangle. Let's follow God's law on the earth. How about that? I'm not going to argue that because that's what they want people to do. It's ridiculous. Okay? You can believe it's in the shape of the number 8 if you would like. Just do good on it. Treat your fellow man right on it. Okay? Now.
Yeah. Down record, man. You know we got to do it for the people, man.
This day for 27 years, and I'm expecting the spin to happen because he also explained to me that as a military strategist, as a person who worked on the MX missile, which I did later, he said you will find that there is going to be a spin to find some enemy against whom we have to build space-based weapons, and now we should expect the spin because he said part of the formula for the intelligence community is
you can believe it's
explained to me that as a military strategist, as a person who worked on the MX missile, which I did later, he said you will find that there is going to be a spin to find some enemy against whom we have to build space-based weapons, and now we should expect the spin because he said part of the formula for the intelligence community is if they might have a weapon, then we have to consider that they do have these weapons. So now they do have these weapons, so now we have to build these weapon systems, and that's the formula, except that it's all based on a lie. And we have witnesses here today that have shown you that these extraterrestrial beings, that these craft that have come here are now not UFOs, they're identified flying objects, and we know that they have beings in them. And we have witnesses here who have told you that they can shut down our missile silos, they can stop a rocket going into space that's a test. We have witnesses here who have worked in the classified departments who have the courage to come forward here to support what Werner von Braun told me back in 1974 to 77. And I will testify before the Congress that when I founded the Institute for Security and Cooperation in Outer Space, which I shut down a few years ago because I didn't believe we had a chance with this huge, integrated around the world, complex weapon system, that we had any chance at all of transforming that war industry into a space industry that could provide benefits, like Dr. Greer has said, of global warming. We can end that situation of that problem. We can end the energy crisis. We can build now non-polluting technologies.
So that's one scenario in which the Most High would get rid of his people, but actually that proves that the children of Israel must still exist. Read.
37. Thus saith the Lord, if heaven can be measured, and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord.
So if they can measure the heavens, then the Most High will cast us off as being his people. This is why Esau and other nations do death-defying things.
Or to recommend an immediate right turn 350.
To go into the depths of the sea where they can be crushed. This is why they're daredevils. They will risk their life to try to fulfill this prophecy. This is why they try to give you the distance between the earth and the sun, which is impossible because the sun goes through portals. The moon goes through portals. It's impossible for them to, as if they had a ruler that could reach from earth to the sun.
Come look at this.
If they could measure the heavens and the depths, the Most High would put us off from being his people. This is why they're daredevils. They're going into the sea, messing around with the animals down there, doing all types of crack up in space. Let me tell you, they also had, what did they call that that navigation system they had to try to go out in space to try to measure other worlds. I forgot what they called that years ago.
Even for a spacecraft. And in
okay, it'll come to mind, but they had a probe to go into space beyond our so-called space within Earth. To go into other galaxies to try to figure things out. I'm sure people who know what that is. It had mirrors and all that, so they can go out and try to find new life. They were actually trying to measure the heavens, folks. They know the word said that if they could go out and measure heaven and the sea, that the most of their rulership, as well as the prophecies concerning the beast who rules the nations. If we're here, eventually we'll judge. That's revive in power, not just beyond earth, but in the heavens. They must help him accomplish this. And folks, the Tower of Babel was everything to them. It had the technology. It had everything. And that's why the Most High said we must stop them.
Verse number.
Hubble telescope and Sputnik was one. Thank you. Why do you think they're out there? It's all in the Bible, folks. The Tower of Babel had all of this technology wrapped up into one. And the Most High had to destroy it.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. I will be like him. So I'm setting up the technology on earth to assume that position now. I'm setting the technology on earth to accomplish it. I'll know every person. Eventually, I'll have every person on earth worshiping me. Worshiping me as the God of all gods. Now, I'm going to go into it in a moment why you have Muslims and others under Judaism worshiping at the Wailing Wall, near the same location where you've seen a spirit or a what? A vehicle, a heavenly vehicle ascending, descending, and ascending from the dome of the rock. Okay? And for those who missed it, I can show it again. I can show it once more. Let me show you again. For those who missed it. 11 years ago.
A new video this morning that some say may be proof we're not alone in the universe. A UFO in the form of a bright light is seen descending over the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The video is said to be taken over the weekend. Then suddenly the light shoots up into the sky. There you see it. Another video from a different angle appears to show the light doing the same thing. Those clips have gone viral now.
Okay, that's all. Listen, there's nothing to see here. It went viral. Nothing to see here. But guess what? It happened not too far from where this guy is at the wall. Who are they communicating with? All UFOs, brothers and sisters, aren't from the righteous side. That's right. These orbs, a lot of these orbs were trapped in the firmament from the beginning.
Thousands of years ago.
That's right, folks. The fallen ones also have orbs in the earth. And there's beings,
how to build.
you can call them what you want, aliens, but they are angels who give technology to the Gentile nation.
The gods would return.
If you don't believe me, don't worry about it. Be there tomorrow. I have the proof. And they don't hide it.
Used to breed the ultimate
Go
prey.
back, and I'm going to show you the judgment of them. Come on. And this is why they try to get rid of us.
Saying the most high is saying, repent of fall, just know that I've been waiting. With 144 seal, let me just go and pill. Hold the wigs of the sinners back like O'Neal. For that day, steady praying, we can all nail. No transgressions of the law and the love real. My shiats at the bar, Hanabiel, he be fresh, set apart.
And they don't hide it. Serpent seed lab. Hashem Yeshaya. Yes, we're in for a lesson for your presence. The water for your presence. All praises be to the Most High. Ahaya Bahashem. Your Sabbath lesson. I hope you all are doing well. Thanks for your presence. The water for your presence. All praises be to the Most High. Ahaya Bahashem Yeshaya wa Rewak. Yes, we're in for a lesson breaking down, as you can see in the title, wars and rumors of wars. Okay. While the world was getting distracted with a cold, a lot of prophecies were unfolding. Okay. And I'm going to go into some of these today to let you know that outright they're letting the whole earth understand that there will be a war. But in order for this war to culminate into what the Bible says it will be.
Skynet. A computer program designed to automate missile defense. It was supposed to protect us, but that's not what happened.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole.
There'll be little proxy or mini wars that can distract many people. Okay? It's called, and the Bible tell you, realm against realm. So they'll be showing you something on this level during their conflicts, realm against realm, in which you don't realize all of these are really leading to the ultimate prophecy, the last war. So today, through the Spirit of the Most High, I hope this lesson gives you some insight on what to look into. When the news articles are out there telling you on one level what this conflict is, or the reason for it, or what that conflict is, or for the reason for it. You can look through it and actually understand the times according to the Bible concerning prophecy. And these wars are really like what? These wars are signs of crisis coming. Wars are fought on many levels, and I'm going to go into it. Okay? Psychological, biological, the weather.
We can control our weather.
Worst hailstorm in history. You can see the damage and devastation of buildings and vehicles wrecked by the storm.
Okay? All of these are tools of war that's used to what? Keep people at bay, to control populations. And when all fails, bloodshed, mayhem. All of that is leading to what? Freeing the children of Israel. The nations are warring to keep the prophecies concerning their future at bay. That's right. Wars and rumors of wars is our lesson today. You see what's going on in the Ukraine and what they're claiming, but we're going to give you a better insight to what's going on there, according to God's word. Now, before we go in, Elder Lawyer, what will be the title for the Academy tomorrow?
Yes, sir. The Seed of Promise.
The Seed of Promise is our lesson tomorrow. Okay, the Seed of Promise. The promised seed according to God. There's a certain bloodline in this earth since the beginning that has always been under attack. Okay, a certain genetic code. It so happens to be our genetic code. That's between the crosshairs. It's prophetic that the children of Israel would go through Jacob's trouble. Okay, so we're going to go into that. The promised seed, to show you beyond any shadow of a doubt that the Most High has always had a chosen people according to bloodline. Not just under a belief system. If you believe in Christ, that you're God's seed or you are the children of God. Let me make it clear. All people on earth are children of God. Okay? That's not the conversation. The conversation is, who did he choose out of all people? That's the conversation. So we're going to make that clear that the Most High has never changed his mind concerning us, the children of Israel. Okay? He have never changed who his chosen people were or are today. So genetically, we are what? We are the children of promise, heir to a kingdom. Heir to a kingdom. So I'm going to be going into that and show you how the Christian church, as you know what they do, the modern day Roman liars, they came with a new philosophy on God's people so that now, instead of us looking for a particular people in the earth to preserve for the promise, instead of doing that, they have came out with these blanket terms like God's people or the chosen people, or when it says Israel in the Bible, that's talking about the church. They're liars, okay? Because that's so ambiguous. What you mean the church? There's all types of churches out here. There's Vietnamese churches, there's Seventh-day Adventists, that's confusing. Christ is coming back for his church. See, and they're putting that out there because the Zionists and the powers that be control the churches. So we're not dealing with that. We're going to show you that the Most High has a promised seed. And the wars that we see going on in the earth is to do what? To suppress God's people, knowing that Christ is coming back for us, or to eradicate us altogether. Okay? Knowing the future of the 10 horns. Rome. So we're going to be going into that tomorrow. We're going to show brothers and sisters of the lawyer exactly how civilization began right after the flood. How the Nephilim and others were able to go from that side of the flood to this side of the flood and began to set up their empires on this side, controlling and destroying the children of Noah. But the Most High would have out of all those people, just like he has today, a remnant, a chosen. He would choose a man by the name of Abraham. And I'm going to go into that tomorrow. The promised seed from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob to the 12 tribes of Israel.
I am to deliver that promise according to the gospel, to the epistles which confirms Christ's ministry, all the way up till what? Up until our present time. The promised seed from the time of the flood to our present time, to prove that beyond any shadow of a doubt, we are the children of promise. Tomorrow in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. And what I'm going to do, if the Most High permit, I'm going to see if I can put Zoom on here so that when I set up tomorrow, we can bring at least 2 people from the Academy. Click the link that we'll put in the comment section and give us your testimony or ask a question based on the lesson that was provided. A new feature in our Hebrew and Bible Academy. So we're going to finish up by 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to just deal with the scriptures as it is written and break it on out so that we don't, and keep the news within 30 to 45 minutes so that now I can, you and I can begin to start seeing our brothers and sisters in remote areas on the other side who has always supported this academy. You don't want to miss that, all right? The Hebrew and Bible Academy, okay? You don't want to miss it. Tomorrow, it's week 3 of the academy. Week 3. Week 3, folks. Which means if you enroll, and we have someone on standby operating right now for the enrollments. If you enroll, we'll make sure that not only will you receive the information to get in tomorrow, the links, the PDFs, everything. I mean, a lot of work have went behind this as far as the studies and all that we send you personally. You'll also receive the prior 2 weeks missed, including the news, all of that. And a lot of people out there are out of touch because CNN and these other news circulations has actually began to divert people. For a while, they've been diverting people from the real news that would have us understand how close we are to Christ's coming. Well, you'll get the 2 weeks as well as the news that you missed. You need it to catch up. Okay? You need that news to catch up with what's going on prophetically. And you'll get the lessons. The creation of the universe, as well as, that's right, tracing the serpent seed. Proving that the so-called gods or aliens are really, according to the Bible, the fallen angels who control politicians and judges in this earth and priests over religions, and they're still in control at our present time. That's week 2. And then we go into the promised seed. We went to the serpent seed last week, and now we're going into the promised seed. Finding our fathers. Finding our fathers. And this is, and guess what? And this is no harm or no shade on any other race of people. This has nothing to do with uplifting our people over everyone else. It has everything to do with what? Setting the record straight according to the gospel. To the Jew and the Israelite first. The Jews according to bloodline, not religion. And also the Gentiles. You don't want to miss that. So let me jump right in. HistoryTimes.org. HistoryTimes.org. I just typed that in your comment. Let's jump in to what's going on. Wars and rumors of wars. Like I've mentioned, wars are fought on many levels, folks. And I'm going to tell you the best war. Okay? The greatest war. When you can war without actually engaging. See, if we want to talk about wars and rumors of wars, we have to first identify the hunter. Right? He who calculates all of this. So when you see what's going on in the Ukraine and other areas and all that, folks, you have to realize that stuff isn't Biden. It isn't the president. Okay? The president just rubber stamps what the lobbyists bring to his desk. He who controls the finances control the politicians. Okay? Why do you think it costs so much money to campaign? You think these people paying billions and billions of dollars in an election to chance this guy changing his mind and doing something outside of their prior agreements that got him in office? No, you don't understand how politics works. You don't understand how it works. So it's not about Biden. It's not about Obama. It's not about any politician that you may be looking at. You have to look at the grand picture.
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic. We have a great opportunity at this moment, like we had after World War II, to create this global reset, to have in some way a new beginning in our global cooperation, in globalization, in managing our global affairs. First, we deeply believe in the power of the collaborative efforts of all stakeholders of global societies. If we want to address the global challenges, governments have a leading role, governments have a leading role, governments have a leading role.
Aujourd'hui, au bout de ça, on parle de puces qu'on pourra s'implanter. Ce sera quand ça?
Certainement dans les 10 années à venir. Et d'abord, on va les implanter dans nos vêtements, c'est-à-dire wearables, comme on le dit. Et après, on pourrait s'imaginer qu'on les implante dans nos cerveaux ou dans notre peau. Et à la fin, peut-être il y a une communication directe entre notre cerveau et le monde digital. Ce que nous voyons, c'est une sorte de fusion du monde physique, digital et biologique.
On appelle quelqu'un, on n'a même plus le réflexe de devoir prendre un appareil, ça se fait naturellement. La technique continue le corps.
Oui, vous parlez et vous dites, je veux maintenant être connecté avec n'importe qui. Et d'abord, vous avez les robots personnalisés. Et j'ai vu que M. Zuckerberg a prédit qu'à la fin de l'année, il va avoir son robot, son butler personnalisé qui est à sa disposition.
Donc, comme dans Downton Abbey, on aura son butler personnel, son serviteur, son esclave.
Oui, mais il y a une différence. C'est un serviteur qui, avec l'intelligence artificielle, apprend et qui n'est pas seulement votre assistant pour des travaux manuels, qui peut vraiment être un partenaire intellectuel de vous.
Alexa, when will World War III start?
World War III starts on November 23, 2023 at 6:05 p.m., when Russia launches an attack against Germany.
Okay? There's controllers over all governments. And when you look at what's going on in the Ukraine, Russia, and all that, we're going to show you what's happening on the, the regular level that most people can understand. But we're going to show you the big picture according to Christ. Okay? These are little proxy wars. But in order to do so, we must identify the tool Satan will use against the children of Israel. Elder Lawyer, let's go to Genesis 25 real quick, and then we're going to go directly to Christ.
Genesis 25, verse number 21.
Yeah.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because his wife was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Come on.
And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus?
Come on.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
And she went to inquire of the Most High. And eventually, the Most High said it was twins in her womb. Let's read it.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 races of people are in thine womb.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Now, like I showed last week, this wasn't speaking of 2 separate bloodlines that would come directly from Rebekah's womb. Okay? Having the same father and mother. This was prophetic. That one of these children would eventually go off and do what? Produce with the Nephilim bloodline that was in the land of Canaan. Before the Israelites came in. Okay? When we marched around Jericho and the Most High destroyed that wall, the Nephilim, the fallen ones, ran into Mount Seir. So eventually, Esau would link in to make a what? Stronger bloodline to fight against us, the children of Jacob. Now go back to last week's Sabbath if you want to see that. Or if you want to see the more detail, we're going into Who's Edom in a couple of weeks anyway in the academy. So read on.
24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
There were twins in her womb. Read.
And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
And the first came out red. There's no such thing as white people. There's no such people as white people. My Mitri's white. Okay. Red all over. Read.
Like an hairy garment.
Like a hairy garment. Read.
And they called his name Esau.
And they called his name Esau. Esau. Now the Bible describes Esau as what? The eagle. Or let's get it where it says that Esau was that cunning hunter. Let's get that.
Yes, sir. Verse number 27.
Go back to where you were, red.
Yes, sir. Verse 25. The first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
And they called his name what?
Esau.
And they called his name Esau. 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 Now I'm just going to give y'all just some insight. Confirming what's being broken down here. Okay? Let's go here to the lesson here. And as you can see, just use it as an example. this guy right here, don't know him, just a random guy with a mask. His mask is white. His mask is white, okay? This is how you describe it in the Bible. This is what Isaac and his mother was beholding. A different hue of people. Now, there's another thing out there where people, as you can see, he's red. A variation of red, not white. That's not racist, that's reality. That's color. That's exactly what that is. Okay? The trick was convincing us that they were white. When obviously we're looking at what? A variation of a red color, pink. That was the deception. Okay? Everyone else looked like us, brown skin. Now, there's some people out there who say, well, Esau have to be black because he had children with dark Canaanites. You don't know the research. You don't understand the Bible. There were a cursed people amongst the Canaanites who was leprous, where their genetics were turned white or like Caucasian. Like you read of Gehazi in the Bible, where not only was Gehazi cursed, but his children were cursed with the same mark. So when Esau, and I'm going to go into this when it's who's Esau, because I really want to stay on wars and rumors of wars today. When Esau went into the land of Mount Seir, he connected with those who looked like him, where the curse of leprosy was on these particular Canaanites. So they switched it up. In modern day theology, they'll tell you that the Canaanites or all the Hamites were black, and that's the curse of Ham. When really, it's on the flip side. The mark of the hunter who would be hunting the earth and destroying the people would be identified as red, not black people. So they flipped the script. See? Now they didn't flip the Bible. The Bible is clear that the chosen people are people of color, like us. So they didn't change the Bible. It was a psychology they used through Christian theology that made you look at black people or dark-skinned people as bad, and white people are pure and innocent, according to their Webster's dictionary. But we have found Edom and realized, and those say, well, Esau connected with black Canaanites or black people in Mount Seir. These are unlearned people that are making these statements. Prove that. You can't prove that. That's an opinion. But I can prove when the children of Israel went into the land of Canaan that was turned to Israel, that the Most High told the priests how to rid that area of what? The curse of leprosy. The curse of leprosy that turns dark skin pink. Like you see black people sometimes, our people of color, they have spots, light spots on their face, and they turn whiter or more lighter with spots. That is the curse of leprosy that was in the land of Canaan. And these were the people that were cursed with Esau to do what? To create the race we see today as so-called Europeans. And this is why in the book of Revelation it tell you that the beast rolled a what? That it was a scarlet, that the woman rode a scarlet colored beast, a red beast. A red beast, okay? Now let's show you how Esau, his mentality to actually gain power in the world, what gift would he receive? Let's read that, Elder Lawyer. Where he was what?
Yes, sir. Verse number 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
He was a what?
A cunning hunter.
A cunning hunter. So you have to realize the greatest power of a hunter is not what? When you don't have to physically engage someone. Okay? You can hunt. You can use the all-seeing eye, the satellites, and find out where everyone is. You don't have to engage a person to destroy them. That's one of Esau's powers in the earth. That, being a cunning hunter,
boys is on us, and them boys ain't ready for this.
and you know what? Psychology. Psychology.
And not skip getting the shot.
Esau has the power to never show his hand.
Those pastors practiced with him.
If we don't actually find a way to
a cordial interaction,
a vast majority of this
even
vaccinated, it's going to be very difficult.
He'll do that
we had before,
while he's injecting the poison in you, and while he's actually laying you out to destroy your community. He'll smile
and by the way, for
in
the
a
record,
trusted manner to a degree where our people will think, well, hold up, they could never think to harm our people. No, psychology is one of their greatest gifts used in warfare. Okay? You cannot look at what they say or how they act. You must study what they do. They're cunning hunters. Strategic.
Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
A man of the field, out in the woods, hunting, gaming. So a lot of this stuff is what, brothers and sisters, is game to them.
Why would you want to kill yourself? Maybe I like the idea of choosing when I die instead of having somebody else choose for me. If someone offered you a good job, would you be interested? But without hunts, out in the wilderness.
Are you sure about this one?
Oh, I'm sure.
Has he got courage? Gentlemen, I would like you to meet our new hunting guide, Mason. Here's a toast to the hunters and a prayer for the hunted. The hunt begins now.
You can't begin! Just let me get the door for you. Go.
We're not really gonna hunt him, are we? He's nothing. He's less than nothing.
Come on, Mason!
I won't take any part in this.
I want you!
If you make it to civilization, you live. If you don't, maybe God will have mercy. I think he's gone back to the cabin.
None of them has ever done that before.
Mr. Mason! What's that smell?
Everybody out of the cabin!
I like my meat rare.
Try well done, bitch.
Jack Mason knows he's going to die someday.
Damn, I wish I'd never started smoking.
But today, he's not in the mood.
This is where it gets interesting.
Never underestimate
Come on, Mason!
a man who has nothing to lose. Rutger Hauer, Charles Dutton, Gary Busey, F. Murray Abraham, William McNamara, and Ice-T. Surviving the game.
Bang! I'm going to show y'all, folks, but Christ has identified not only the children of Israel and has awakened us. He has given us an insight to what Esau is doing in the earth when it comes to wars and rumors of wars. It's never what they're telling you. Matthew 24, Elder Lawyer.
St. Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. And Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple.
Come on.
And Yeshua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
There shall not be one stone upon another that will not be thrown down. Now, what was Christ talking about here, brothers and sisters? He was talking about our temple. The one place that connected our people with the heavens. Okay? Once a year, all of the greats within our people, all of our people would go to Jerusalem to bring our sacrifices and homage to our own God. We didn't go to Buddhist temples. We didn't go to Roman temples, like your Christian churches today. We didn't go to mosque and all that because we knew these were Babylonian satanic temples that could only produce spiritually for the people who were over that particular religion. Okay, so we didn't go to mosques or Roman temples that was set up through government. That was colluding with the Roman government. The only place in which we can connect to our God at that time before Christ was the temple in Jerusalem. So Christ was letting us know this connection with the Almighty will soon be broken. And y'all going to be searching for my God. No longer will we once a year come together or 3 times a year come together to this temple. And through that, it strengthened us because they didn't just come there and it wasn't just routine. This was our political stance, our political place in which we can conversate amongst each other concerning our affairs as a people. It wasn't just us just reading the Torah. See, we would go here for social standings, conversations, what you would call annual meetings, so that we'll know what's going on with our people. Okay? And understand the political landscape. We had that in Jerusalem. So it wasn't just a religious temple. It was a place we can sit there, we can trade, we can conversate, we can talk about our past, our forefathers. The temple kept our people, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi at that time, intact. And Christ says, you see this? It's coming down. And like I showed you last week, the Wailing Wall that they've made a religious shrine for Jewish people as well as Muslims and Christians was a fort where what? Where the Romans were held up to destroy our people in Masada after the temple was destroyed. And that confirms what Christ was talking about. Fort Antonia is the Wailing Wall when you do the research. It's not a part of the ruin of Jerusalem. The ruins of Jerusalem is an entirely different location. So they claim they're at the Wailing Wall because they're crying about the temple being destroyed when these are the people that are behind destroying the temple. Right? So Christ said, see these things? Not one stone will be upon another. Our temple will be destroyed. And he was putting it out there. That we're going to have to connect another way to our God. Socially, religiously, civilly as a people, we're not going to have one location to come together anymore. Got it? He says that this thing going to be destroyed. Read.
Verse 3, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? and which shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world.
Okay, what is the signs we can look for Christ? Now, these are the signs that everyone who believe or understand the word should be looking for. These are the signs. Do not go for the lies that the Christian theologists and the Muslim teachers and imams have been putting out there. They're liars. Okay? These are the signs. So when you hear about a rapture and all this other stuff they're talking, know that that's misdirection. When you hear about some one antichrist is going to pop up out of the earth, know that that's deception, because none of that is within Christ's teachings or Christ's warning of Christ's signs, better word, given to the disciples. None of that. None of it. Read.
Verse 4. And Yeshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And really, the only religion that's outright using Christ's name within the title, within the frame of their particular religion, is Christianity. They're going to use my name to deceive the earth, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Do not listen to any religion out there, is what the Christ is telling you. They're going to deceive you. Why? Because the fall of the temple means what? The fall of the temple means glory and power to the people who destroyed it. So how can these people teach you about me when they're the ones who destroyed your coming together, your temple, your connection with God? You're going to listen to them? Then you have Islam talking about, well, Christ was a prophet. This is how they're using Christ's name for credibility. And that's how you know Islam is one of the bottom satanic religions, because they need our book to be credible. They need to start talking about our prophets because they don't have any. Okay? There's none. Don't try to hook arms with us and try to steal our knowledge and understanding, our forefathers, and use another book only to do what? To claim that the book of our forefathers, which brings us together, is tampered with. That's another religion that uses Christ's name to try to co-sign. He was a prophet like Muhammad was a prophet. Liar. He was more than a prophet. Okay? It's primarily, and then you have Buddhists and all these others. How do they get credibility amongst our people? They start going into the tenets of Christ and saying those tenets can be taught within any religion. Christ is more so a concept. Evil, wicked deception. He's more than a concept. He's more than a prophet. He's king. And he's coming back. Right? He's more than a prophet. So the first thing, listen, Christ could have shown any signs he wanted to. The first thing he said was, do not listen to these liars who are going to use my name. Because you're not going to use my name without first doing what? Giving the gospel to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You can't use Christ's name unless you do that first. Because that's the first thing Christ did. Hold on, get Matthew 5 and 10 and let's confirm that. Matthew 10 and 5.
Say Matthew 10 verse 5.
Yes.
but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So how can you say you coming in Christ's name and you can't even identify his people? Liars. See, this is how you know the people Christ was warning us about. You can point out any people on the earth. You can even identify Europeans and say they the people. You know who the Ishmaelites are, Arabs. You know who you know who all the other races, the Hamites who are in India and different parts of the Sudan, different parts of Ethiopia. Those are the Hamites. But yet you cannot identify the lost sheep of Israel? Liar. Because if you knew of Christ and can speak of him, surely you would know his people. Read it again, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Starting from verse 5. These 12 Yeshua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Come on.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's right. Christ didn't give a mission to the Gentiles until after his death and resurrection. So y'all backward. How can you just teach all the Gentiles and not identify Christ's people first? And I don't have no problem with teaching the Gentiles. But I'm not going to leave out the people Christ said he came for. So that's a sign when someone will tell you, well, it doesn't matter who his people are today, as long as we believe the lies that are taught through the Christian church.
This movement is something that you'll see a lot on YouTube, Facebook, different places, where they're constantly piping up with just the most ridiculous, foolish arguments. They really just prey on people's ignorance, and anybody who's following them, I'm sorry, but is not very smart. They just assume that people haven't read the Bible, so they cherry pick strange verses out of context. And their whole point is to try to prove that Jesus was black and that black people are the true Jews. And so
we're saved. Liars. Liars. We were trodden down by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So it's in their interest not to tell our people that we are the true bloodline, saying, I am Christ and shall say they're Christ, but the people won't vet them. The people are not going to vet or question them. See? Well, why aren't you doing what Christ was doing if you're coming in his name? Get out of here. Okay, why aren't you following the law? When Christ says he came not to destroy the law. He came to fulfill the law of his Father. Liar. Deceiver. See? This is how you vet these people. Because they're just going to use Christ in name. And guess what? Christ said that was the first sign. Because they use his name to gain what? Credibility. Acceptance. Because there's no other name under heaven whereby man can be saved. And even they know that. They couldn't just push Muhammad alone and have people come under that. See? You can't do it. They need our knowledge, our book, and our forefathers to show you the power of our bloodline for credibility. Read on, Elder Lloyd. Let's go back to Matthew.
Yes, sir. Matthew 24 in verse number 5 or verse number 6.
Yeah.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
You shall hear of what?
Wars and rumors of wars.
Wars and rumors of wars.
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
Listen to what he's saying.
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. Now, what is Christ doing here? He's comforting us in this time with his words. He's comforting us in these times with his words. He told us this. See? He's comforting us. All these things, don't be troubled, is what he said. Don't panic. And if someone is panicking you through this, they're of the devil. Do not panic. Because what is he saying? The end is not yet. See? So we're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. And what's going to happen, those who are not what? Grounded in the word, grounded in Christ, is going to look at what's going on in the news.
Of Ukraine has heightened tensions surrounding
get triggered
Putin's nuclear arsenal.
And begin to panic and panic other people.
Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov
when really,
if a third world war
when really
were to take place, it would be destructive and would involve nuclear weapons. The warning comes after Lavrov accused Ukraine of trying to acquire nuclear weapons. Vladimir Putin also placing what he calls Russia's nuclear deterrence forces on, quote, heightened alert. Ukraine was once the third largest nuclear power in the world after the collapse of the Soviet Union. It doesn't have any nuclear weapons today. It surrendered them to Russia in the 90s in exchange for security protections and a guarantee it would never invade the country.
Why? Because Christ confirmed that these wars and rumors of wars would come, and that he would do what? He would guide his elect through it. The first understanding of being able to guide through it, the first, I would say, gift of seeing what's going on is because you also can see the hunter. Wars and rumors of wars. The hunter is going to be working on every level to panic the people so that now you're running out and now he can pick you off. Not what Christ said. So a lot of this stuff is out there to panic the people, to shake the tree, to make people afraid so that people could expose themselves or eventually fall to one of the hunter's devices and die by doing so. Are you more afraid of the hunter? Let's weigh this. Do you believe Christ more so over the fear you have for the hunter? Huh? Just think on that for a few days. Just think on it. Because I believe, I'm almost sure more people trust and are afraid of the hunter more than they believe in the Christ they claim to serve. Wars, rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. So there are going to be some people in the earth executing Satan's chaos. Wars on every level. Right now, for instance, wars on every level. Let's go here. While everyone was running around talking about a cold that automatically just disappeared out of nowhere because CNN and the news tell you it's okay now to actually go outside and act like normal people. There was some news that most out there didn't know actually was happening. Okay, this is SP Global. An article that came out early November, brothers and sisters. Iran talks that could sway global oil supply by 1.5 million to resume November 29th. November 29th. Now, this was going on while everyone was talking about the cold. No one knew that Iran was in talks. Well, Iran was in talks with what? Russia and other countries so that they can open up the trade that will allow what? The embargoes to come off of a lot of sanctions to come off of Iran. Because Iran sanctions is doing what? It's harming other economies, including Russia. So the whole thing with the Ukraine and all that, folks, it's to get in the way. I'm going to show y'all something. It's to get in the way of the global body inviting Iran back in at a time where they claim Iran is now close to having nuclear capability. So they're telling you Russia is going to invade and this, that, and the other. Never listen to none of that. They're proxying. The only reason Iran or Russia will go into that area is to protect their interests within the Ukraine, knowing that the administration here, controlled by the powers here, is looking to cause disturbances that will stop the talks from Iran being able to trade. Okay? That's what's going on here. Wars and rumors of wars. So you're hearing about the Ukraine now because they are allowing you to demonize any other country that's in the way of their interest.
The single most important thing that we can do from the outset is keep the democracies united in our opposition and our effort to curtail the devastation that is occurring at the hands of a man who, I quite frankly, think is a war criminal. And I think it will meet the legal definition of that as well. But I want to thank everyone for, and I think it's been a surprise, that how we've all stayed together across the board. The most severe punishing sanctions in the history of the world. Economic sanctions have been imposed, and there's more that will come.
Now, Russia has recently released evidence claiming the involvement of US President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden's investment fund in operating biolab, an apparently legal operation business that had been running in the country for a long time now. Let's take a look at this report.
Chief of the Russian Radiation, Chemical and Biological Defense Forces, Igor Krylov, recently stated that an investment fund led by Hunter Biden, son of US President Joe Biden, was involved in finance.
Поступающие материалы позволяют проследить схему взаимодействия органов США с украинскими биообъектами. Обращать на себя внимание причастность к финансированию указанной деятельности.
Research into pathogens, and those labs have received funding and research support from the United States.
But really, it's going to culminate, folks. It's going to culminate into an all-out war eventually. But that's why Christ said, "Be not troubled, for the end is not yet." Okay?
laws, Jerusalem's. Yeah, in times.
Everyone in the earth shall experience this. Read on.
Verse 2, for at that time I will protect only those who are found in those selfsame days in this land.
In this land. So before all of this go down, the Most High is going to guide people into the same areas we once were. Before receiving or while receiving the 10 Commandments. Some is going to be able to walk into those areas. And there's going to be a number of people moved into those areas. The real leaders of this. Okay. As was announced, yes. Week 2 of the Hebrew and Bible Academy tomorrow, tracing the serpent seed. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to move straight from here, from this class, go into the breakdown of what happened in the beginning, how Lucifer and a number of angels were bound here. The real leaders of this earth, okay? The real leaders of this earth who actually converse with guys like this, who are high priest for Satan on earth. This is a high priest for Satan. There's many of these guys. High priest for Satan right here. Antichrist. Antichrist. The Dalai Lama. Antichrist. High priest for Satan. Okay. So we're going to give it one moment. Before I go there, let me just, since Elder Lawyer, waiting for Elder Lawyer here for a moment. All right. Okay, he's coming now. He is coming now. Great. Matthew 24:1, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
See, and this is why Christ had to come. He would give us another opportunity as the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He would give us another opportunity if we came to him under the true doctrine, access to the original power and covenant that was lost as covenant people. This is what we are supposed to be telling our people in the ghettos and all these other areas, that we're not predisposed to these conditions. These conditions are curses. And because we're under these curses, the Gentile nations who have joined themselves with Satan continually exploits us. We are exploited as a people. Right? But Christ came to give us what? An opportunity to be reborn in newness of spirit, so that we don't have to live with past guilt or the past sins of our forefathers. That we can see things as it is and stop using our experiences and what we went through as a crutch, as a reason not to excel towards our covenant given to us to our fathers, through our fathers, according to prophecy. See? So Christ warned us what would happen. Let's go there real quick.
St. Matthew 24, verse 1.
Yeah.
And Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple.
Come on.
And Yeshua said unto them, See ye not all these things?
Look at all these things.
Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
What was he showing? He was showing the desolation of abomination spoken of in Daniel. Our homeland. He said, look at our great temple. They're coming after us. They're going to destroy our temple. And there'll be no place for us, for our people to connect religiously back to our God. So by default, the other nations would gain the higher moral ground when it comes to religion. That was our last stand, our last temple. Who was prophesied to destroy our temple? Let's go there real quick, Elder Lawyer Matthew. Matter of fact, let's go straight to Luke.
St. Luke 21, verse 20. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
When you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Know that the desolation is near. What desolation? The desolation that was recorded in 70 A.D.
Your safety is their highest priority.
70 A.D. Where the Roman Empire, Vespasian, and Titus came against our people in Jerusalem. I can't stress that enough, folks. Because before we can start discussing a current modern day restoration, we must first address who were the people there historically. Now, I'm not saying that we should restore ourselves in Israel because I know what's about to happen there. I have news today that's going to tell you what's going to happen there. The high diplomats and kings are leaving Jerusalem and Israel knowing what the fallout will be in the war. And I'm going to show y'all where they going, all of that today. The Middle East is going to become a trap in that area, specifically in that area that was restored. It's going to be a trap for some people, and I'm going to talk to you about it in a moment. But let's see what Christ said. Read it again.
Verse number 20. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Come on.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
So we fled into different parts of the earth. We went into different parts of Morocco, other areas. We also started fleeing into Africa where the disciples had churches established. This is how we got into Africa in number. We were in Jerusalem in number at first. Those who took heed to Christ's prophecies ran into Africa. Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too.
Now, check this out, folks. What I'm talking about, where my Josephus at, Elder Lee? I showed it to you. Did you mark the page or? Yeah, go there real quick. Wars of the Jews, 7 part 1, 7 chapter 1 part 1. Show the Josephus so you can see the title of it. The complete works of Josephus, as you can see, unabridged. Don't get the new one, get the unabridged one. Where this actual history was recorded by our people during the time of the Roman Empire taking us down. So this is not no religious view here, folks. This is history I'm talking about, where we lost our temple. We lost our land in 70 AD by the hands of Esau, who's in cahoots, as their top governments are, with Satan to accomplish his initiative that started at the Tower of Babel. Right? In the war, it tells us what's really going on at the Wailing Wall? What's really going on at the Wailing Wall in Israel today? Because you might think this is just a religious wall where people go to pray and all that. But this wall in of itself, Muslims, Christians, Jewish people, all alike go to this wall to pray without understanding its history. Why do they pay reverence to this wall? Why cry at this wall? I'm going to show you why. Christ said that an army, a Roman army, would come against us and that we would be led away captive into all nations. Let's get that part. Where we're led away captive into all nations. This would start what we call today. This would lead up to this prophecy. It would lead up to captivity, slavery, us longing for a homeland, us fighting for equality, us fighting to be recognized as people, not realizing we're already recognized by our God. We need to stop trying to get some type of validation amongst the nations who are destroying us. Let's read it, Elder Lawyer.
St. Luke chapter 21, verse number 24.
Come on.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
They shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
And shall be led away captive into all nations. Be all over the place. The North American Indians were here. The Reubenites in Australia. We scattered all over the place, not realizing we are one people. We're not minority. We have royal blood running through our veins. We're the children of Israel, the bloodline of Christ, the bloodline of Judah, Benjamin, Levi. So now, they end up taking us down in our homeland, Israel. Destroyed Masada. And now let's break down why, Elder Lawyer, they're worshiping at the Wailing Wall. The Wailing Wall. Again, you got it? Is it there? It's okay. We can read it directly from here. Let's read it directly from here. Wars of the Jews, 7 part 1, verse 1. Let's read it.
So it says here. And truly, the very view itself of the country was a melancholy thing. For those places which were before adorned with trees and pleasant gardens were now become a desolate country every way.
They made our land desolate. Read.
And its trees were all cut down, nor could any foreigner that had formerly seen Judea and the most beautiful suburbs of the city, and now saw it as a desert, but lament and mourn sadly at so great a change.
Come on.
For the war had laid all the signs of beauty.
Well, when you look at the history, it is actually built by Horus. This wall is the wall of Antioch. Where the troops was held up and were ordered to destroy our people. This is where they held troops that destroyed Jerusalem. This is the place they housed the killers and the destroyers of our people. Until this day, they give reverence to that fort because they believe this fort helped them crush our people that were in Israel before we fell as a people. Look it up, Fort Antonia. That's the ruins that now they went back to make what? To pay homage to the God who gave them power to destroy us, the beast himself, Satan. Now y'all think this is something. It's nothing. Wait till y'all see the Academy tomorrow, folks.